Day after Christmas, 2004. Suddenly, in Indonesia, the earth started to shake, and a small, negligible wave started propagating all over the Indian Ocean. Meanwhile, in Phi Phi Island, Hitoshi, a Japanese tourist, he was in his room, and suddenly he saw the ocean going back, and he realized that something wasn't right. So he ran up to the roof, and he saw a big wave arriving. Hitoshi knew exactly what it was. It was a tsunami. The wave became monstrous. It reached 30 meters. The structure he was staying in didn't have openings. It was massive, and the water level kept rising and rising and rising. And suddenly, the structure collapsed, and the roof was overtopped. Hitoshi is just one of the 250,000 people who died that day because buildings were not dimensioned properly and because everyone thought that these events were too rare to be taken into account. And although this is a sad and tragic contest, this is where I come in with my PhD thesis, trying to conceive buildings that will survive to wave impacts. In hydraulics, we know that the force is proportional to the surface which is exposed to the flow. So in my mind, if I reduce the surface by introducing big openings like doors and windows, for example, I should be able to build a tsunami-resistant house. Unfortunately, things are never as simple as they seem, and water always behaves differently. So I had to test this theory physically. I've built a tsunami maker in the lab. I've tested different opening configurations for various waves, and for every scenario, I've measured the force diagrams. And preliminary results are extremely encouraging, meaning that openings really are an effective way to reduce forces. The water can flow through the structures, and the roof becomes a safe place where you can watch the tsunami pass by, just like Snoopy, if he wasn't slipping. Of course, this wouldn't do any good to all the furniture that you have inside your apartment, so let's say that you might have to replace them after a tsunami. And I swear that my thesis is not sponsored by IKEA. So, for all of you in the room who are saying, oh, we're in Switzerland, we're safe, I can tell you that no, you're not, and yes, this can happen to you. In fact, many years ago, there was a landslide in Valais, producing waves of 9 meters in Lausanne and 7 meters in Geneva, known today as the tsunami du Lac Léman. It's a true story. So, at the end, impulse waves, tsunamis, the collapse of a dam, and in Switzerland we do have a lot of dams. Physically, it's all the same phenomena, and it can happen anytime. And it is my job as a civil engineer to conceive structures that will limit the impact forces and to make sure that these structures survive and that the show from the roof is safe and like Aqua Park.